Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Show and Tech. I'm Devin, this is Mike.
Today, we've got a couple cool things to bring you. Devin, of course, as he said in our last video, has got a real cool piece of tech he's showing off today. I have not seen it yet, but it looks interesting.
Oh yeah.
So I'm stoked to kind of take a look at that, and I'm going to be going over some gaming news.
Cool. So how about that? How about we just jump right into the news, kind of let this sit and tantalize everybody for a little bit?
Kind of leave them guessing a little bit.
Yeah.
Build the suspense.
Sure.
Okay, so if you're anything like me and you're an old school gamer, not necessarily retro, but original, Xbox and PlayStation 2, we got a piece of gaming news today, or not today, last Friday, that was absolutely awesome. So the re-release of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance has hit. Now, unfortunately, right off the bat, they had a little issues with the Switch release. That's not up and running as of right now. However, they expect to hopefully have that in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember seeing something about that. I haven't checked it out yet, but that's definitely interested because it's the first one, right?
Yes, it is the first one.
Yeah, as I put many hours into that.
I've put many hours into both of those games.
Yeah.
But story-wise, I found the first one better than the second one.
Really?
The story was just, well, to me, it was just a little more interesting than the second one was.
I mean, okay, maybe a little bit. They were both pretty good. But yeah, I think maybe the first.
System-wise, the system of the second one was superior because you could do a lot more customizing with your weapons and your armor.
Right.
So,
the second just felt like it had a little more maps, kind of content.
Yeah, it did have more content, absolutely.
But the first one, that was just a great game overall. Like like you said, it had a real good story behind it. It was interesting. Wasn't super long, but it wasn't super short.
Yeah. Definitely gave you your money's worth of, content. And of course, it was that classic Diablo style port over into the Forgotten Realms type D&D campaign.
Right, and kind of
so it was loot grindy, you love to pick new loot up.
And it was kind of one of the early ones to do that on console too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I think there was a couple games, but I mean, like you didn't really get that feel as much until the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance came out on there. And I definitely agree, because I remember playing with our buddy Matt.
Oh my gosh.
So much.
Dude, we wasted so much of our life with him on that. So much.
I don't feel like it was wasted.
Well,
like
maybe not wasted, no. That was a terrible term, but no. Definitely good time spent with that.
Now, so this is a remaster, right? Just kind of like a graphical update, resolution update
right,
kind of thing?
So it's more like a re-release. They haven't really added any like new sort of stuff to it. There's a couple of ease of life features that have been added into it, but it's not really like a remake or a remaster. What it's done is they've updated the graphical fidelity of it so you can play it up to 4K. And there's a couple, like I said, there's a couple ease of life additions to it.
Okay.
Now, it, however, has not made it into the full multiplayer arena. It is only local.
Okay.
Right. So, like, when it does come out on Switch, if you're playing it on your Switch, you'll only be able to play it with the people that can connect to your Switch and stuff like that.
Okay. So you can connect locally with multiple things.
Right.
But like there's no like online multiplayer.
Right. Yeah. There's no servers or anything. You can't go online, and connect with people like on PS Network or Xbox Live and, play with other people.
Sure.
Now, that could change future. Of course, they've already released about 3 hot fixes that have fixed some issues that they realized on release. And they have confirmed that it is coming to PC later this year, as well as the PC will take use of the Steam Play. So you will actually be able to connect to servers through Steam Play later.
Okay.
Now, whether they're taking this time to get servers up and running to make that, compatible across all platforms, where you can connect with other people on like PlayStation and Xbox down the road. They haven't, said whether that's going to be a for sure thing now, but for sure on PC it will have multiplayer.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. So using Steam's backbone essentially to, curate the online multiplayer that way.
Absolutely.
So, I mean that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, these days I'm a PC gamer more than anything anyway. So all I'll have to do is just plug in a controller and go to work.
Yeah, but there's something to be said. Yeah, me and you PC gamers, we don't have that problem. But like, say my little boy, he has an Xbox.
Right.
He don't have a PC. So if we wanted to play together and I own the game on PC, he had it on Xbox. That is obviously an option.
Right.
Not an option if there's no crossplay enabled or anything
Exactly.
like that. It's like take like Minecraft Dungeons for a good example.
Yep.
He can hop on his Switch or his Xbox, and I can be in the living room on my PC, and we can play together.
Exactly.
It's not an issue. So I kind of feel like maybe that's a bit of a missed opportunity.
It is, and now, like I said, I don't know if they plan on getting servers up and running to enable that sort of stuff later on down the road. So, then they release maybe like a 1 gig patch or something whenever the Steam version hits, and then crossplay is enabled.
Right.
They haven't confirmed whether they're going to do that yet or not, so we're not sure.
What's the can you still play like couch play, like just on one system, local multiplayer?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Okay. That's
it
still
is.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. You can still, it's the exact same type of game. They've just reworked the framework for the newer consoles.
Sure.
So as long as you've got 2 controllers, you can jump in there, local play, 2 players and go at it just like you used to.
I was about to say, because if that still wasn't there, that game is definitely, you can play it by yourself, no problem.
Yeah, but it was
it's
definitely
so much
better
more fun with
friends.
somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even just one other person.
Yeah. So the retail on that is $29.99.
Okay, that's not bad.
So it's not bad at all. And I've been sifting through Black Isle Studios Twitter that's now back up and running. So apparently the studio is officially back up and running.
That's always
which
fun.
is news in and of itself, because Black Isle released some of the greatest D&D related games on consoles and PC that have made their way into the pool in the years.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting in and of itself. But they have actually confirmed that they are working on the port of the 2nd edition as well. So the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 will be coming maybe next year.
Okay, so the news about the second one is definitely a little more intriguing for me, because like you said, it had kind of the mechanics expanded a little more.
Yeah.
With the crafting part, because I think in the original one you could only go to like +5, and then like the second one you could go like to +10 on stuff.
Yeah, you can pretty much go crazy with it.
Right, and there were so many more like armor enhancements and weapon things you could play with. There was more little like combos. It felt a little more character building.
Yeah.
In the second one, so that was always a lot more fun for me personally.
And of course, they had more characters too. You had like
there was
5 characters.
There was 5, yeah. Because the first one you had the human archer.
Yep. Dwarven fighter.
The dwarven fighter, and then there
sorcerer.
was a sorcerer. I don't remember which race that one was.
Human female.
Was it human again?
Yeah, well, it may have been
I
Elven.
think it was Elven, because there was an elf, a dwarf, and a human.
Yeah.
So, and then the second one had the same thing, but it added the necromancer, and what was the other class in that one?
The necromancer, and then you had the rogue, which was a dwarf rogue.
Yeah.
You had actually.
It's been a while. I only ever played necromancer.
Now that I think about it, all of the classes were different. So you had the dwarven rogue.
Yeah.
You had the human barbarian.
There was the barbarian in the second one. That's what it was.
You had the moon elf. Well, that was moon elf necromancer. And then you had, was it a sword? I think it was a mage. Anyway, and there was 5 classes, and they weren't all exactly the same as the first one.
It's been a long time since we played these games.
Yeah. But, so, that's interesting news. They've already got the second port coming. And in all honesty, I hate to say it because I am kind of looking forward to it, but whenever I dug deeper into the actual new Dark Alliance game coming, I was a little disappointed because it's not like, what the traditional Dark Alliance additions to the franchise were used to.
It's not that like kind of isometric view.
Right, absolutely. It's not more like
view.
a Diablo. It's more now like the third-person action hack and slash sort of game.
And I kind of see where you're coming from, but I'm also interested on that take as well.
Well, I'm still going to play it, absolutely, and I will still critique it based upon how good a game it is. But at the same time, I'm really disappointed because of the fact, and it's got my favorite characters of all time. I mean, I'm a
Right.
huge R.A. Salvatore fan. I'm a huge Dritz, Bruner, Catabray, all that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that stuff. So, I mean, I should love this game, and I want to love this game. But it's also taking something from that realm that I was hoping it was going to actually act on, which is these games. That
Right.
sort of Diablo-like loot story. Dungeons and Dragons.
Now the loot's still there though, ain't it?
Well, I mean, the loot is there, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be expansive as what we've been talking about with the original Dark Alliance games. The loot system will still be there, but it's not going to be like a loot grinder game.
Yeah. See, my biggest thing for those games is the loot. So if they can do the loot still, then I think I would be mostly pleased with it. Just because I kind of like personally the action-oriented version, of the combat style.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that, that third-person view myself. But I still get, I understand the magic of that original, like, isometric top-down view as well. Because, I mean, it's just how the game was. That's how we enjoyed it. So that's how we remember it that way, too. So
and that style of game is making a huge comeback, too. Even if it's not necessarily a loot grinder. You've got the Pillars of Eternity, Divinity Original Sin series. Right. The CRPG is making a huge comeback.
Right. Well, and even in that same style, if we kind of go more of that Diablo style, you got Path of Exile, which is huge.
Absolutely,
and it's in that style.
And it's blown off the charts, man.
Right. So, and they're about to release a second one, Path of Exile too.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely not, like you said, it's definitely not something that's went away. That it's kind of getting bigger and bigger. But I don't know. We'll have to just kind of wait and see how it turns out, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's in June, ain't it? For the Dark Alliance game? The new one?
I am not 100% sure on the release date on the Dark Alliance yet. I kind of, when it first released and I realized what it was going to be, I dug into what it was actually going to be. And at that time, they didn't have a release date announced.
Yeah,
so I haven't really dug into it since.
I think it's June. I think it's June 22nd. I think it's next month.
Well, we'll see how it is then.
Yeah. So, and I think they were only charging $39.99 for that game too, right?
I believe so.
So I kind of feel like that's a good target price because I think it's kind of like the original ones. Like it's not a super long story,
right? Yeah.
It's not going to be like a super long game. So I'm glad they targeted. That $40 target instead of like a $60 target. Kind of like what's something that did that recently? Godfall. It should, like everybody says, it should have been like a $40 game because like the game is there. It's good for what it is, but was it really worth a full AAA price?
Right, absolutely. And if you have people who are testing the waters, which I kind of believe that's what this is. Like the Dark Alliance kind of reboot, if you will call it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's them kind of testing the waters to see if there's going to be interest in it, which, this news from what I've been following has just absolutely blown up. I mean, like people have been buying Dark Alliance like crazy on PlayStation and Xbox, and they've been hitting them up.
I actually own my PS2 copies of both games still.
Yeah, I've got Xbox copies and PS2 copies. Yeah.
So I feel you.
But I mean, it's blown up. Like it came out of nowhere. Like the same day they announced that it was coming. They also announced, hey, by the way, it's already here. We've got it out on PlayStation. We've got it out on Xbox. We had a hiccup with Nintendo, but we're remedying that, as soon as we can. So
yeah, definitely recommend checking that out for sure.
Absolutely, it's a great game.
It is a great game.
I've already got my kids addicted to it. They beg me to play it all the time. So now it'll be a little smoother and easier to play.
It's easier for people to access. You don't have to get, a PlayStation 2 or an Xbox and then figure out how to connect it, to a proper TV. Well, I think the Xbox, did the original Xbox have
Xbox
HDMI? The 360 had HDMI. The original
Xbox did not have HDMI.
So, but then you need one of those RetroTink things like I showed off, like a month or so ago. So
now the second one is backwards compatible on 360.
Okay. So
however, it's real rough. There's points you run into like those. The FPS will drop to around like 10, 12.
Yeah, but it did on the original game too, so
Yeah, but not as much as it's doing it on the 360,
Yeah.
from what I've noticed, because I play it with my kiddos all the time, and I mean, it just drops all the time.
But then, if they do a re-release of the second one, like they say they're doing, the power of the new consoles and stuff like that, and them actually, retooling some of the code to fit for
Right.
that stuff should fix a lot of those issues.
Absolutely.
So that'll be great.
I'm definitely stoked and looking forward to that because that'll make it a lot easier to play.
Yeah, so cool. Definitely pick that one up on your console of choice, or wait for the PC one, and have fun with that. So, all right, cool. Anything else?
Nope, that's about it. I mean, just the fact that Black Isles is running in and of itself again, that's awesome news to me.
Right,
Maybe we'll
right.
actually get the third entry to it to finish it off.
Now, Black Isles, they were once part of the original Baldur's Gate and
Interplay.
games.
They were okay. So BioWare was the original Baldur's Gate,
right.
like Baldur's Gate, Shadows of Om, and all that. So Black Isle, they did all of the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliances. Were involved in Icewind Dale 2.
Okay, that's where I remember it from.
Right, absolutely. They weren't Wizards of the Coast were the ones involved in the Icewind Dale 1, and then they gave the rights over to Black Isle to do Icewind Dale 2.
Gotcha.
So, and of course, their parent company is Interplay, which I've
Right.
checked out their Twitter too, and apparently they're starting to fund games again too.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, sounds good.
interesting news.
Hopefully, we'll just see a lot more, Dungeons and Dragons, world
Yeah,
stuff going on. So that'd be cool.
Dungeons and Dragons has really blown up this year. I'm very very stoked at the offering.
So you think we've let this sit long enough? Should we dive into it?
Yeah. Let's get into it. I'm curious.
All right. So how about this? How about I'm gonna let you open it, because like
You're
I said,
gonna let me open it.
I'm gonna let you open it because I unfortunately I had to. It has software that you have to use with it, obviously, and to look and see what the software could do, I had to take it out of the box and plug it in, but
Right.
I put it in here exactly how it came out of the box,
Okay.
and this is exactly how it came, just like this, just
Okay.
inside a bigger box. Obviously, it wasn't even taped shut or nothing,
All right. Is
So
it side open or end open?
just right here at the end.
Okay.
So I'll let you take that out, take a look at it, see what you think. First impressions.
Oh.
It is a USB-C connection, so that's nice.
Oh my gosh.
It is made from aluminum. It is CNC
Guys.
machined aluminum.
This is insane. Like, I feel like I could throw this up against a wall like 100 times. Of course, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But I feel like I could throw this up against a wall 100 times and it would never break. This is well built. I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful. Beautiful front black finish. Glossed. I mean, it just looks amazing.
Get a feel for how them knobs feel, how the sliders feel.
Ah, that's crisp, man. That's not going anywhere unless you make it go somewhere.
Yeah.
Smooth, good glide to it.
Yeah.
This has got good response, man.
Yeah. The knobs actually click too. They're buttons.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like clicky clicks.
Yeah. And
That's great,
all
man.
5 of them are buttons. So.
All right, so this is very well built. Whatever this product is, I'm thinking I can already endorse it because that thing is not going to break easily.
Yep.
So, tell us what we got here.
All right. So let me first thing I want to say. Like I said last time, the brand is called PC Panel. Right now, this came from a first batch order.
Okay.
So like I said, I got it for see, what was it? $79.99. It was $80.
Okay.
They're doing a second batch order right now just because it's hard to put something in production right now.
Yeah.
But
And that's with
the price
everything.
has went up to $89.99.
Okay.
And then after they get through this batch, it will go back to its full retail price of $99.99. So $100,
Okay, so it's
which
$100.
isn't bad. Like I said, it's still in that price range of that Elgato Stream Deck Mini
Right.
and stuff. So it's still in that competition. It just, like I said, it comes in this black box. It wasn't taped up. It was just set in here. There was no anything, so it could slide
Yeah.
around stuff. So I was a little disappointed there. I kind of wish. I mean, even if it was just like one of those little like airbags, just to kind of keep it from moving
Right,
around,
true,
that'd been
yeah.
nice.
Not that it's gonna
like I said,
break
I'm
or
nitpicking.
anything.
I'm nitpicking at that point. You know what I mean? Like this isn't going to break. It's like I said, it's made out of aluminum.
I mean, I'm telling you, when I picked that thing up, it's got weight
some
to
heft
it.
to it.
And like,
It's got some
you could
heft to
sit
it.
there and beat on that thing, and it's not going to do anything.
It's got 4 volume sliders
Right.
that you can, program into the software. It's got 5, knobs that you can use for volume and other things. And like I said, each of these knobs do click to assign a function to. It does use a USB-C connection, so that's real nice.
Yeah.
Anything that uses USB-C, I'm glad, 'cause like I said, it's a reversible connector. You ain't fiddling with it, and it's a much more substantial connector than that micro USB connector.
Yeah.
So that's one more thing that it's great. It does have RGB in the software, so like all the the little around the dials here, the slider icons, it's all
some people like
RGB.
I'm a huge proponent of RGB because it pops, right?
Right.
And especially, when it comes with software and stuff like that, you usually get sorts of effects like breathing effects and stuff like that.
Yeah, and
you can make stuff look
You
good.
can do a breathing effect with this. You can do your rainbow unicorn puke RBG.
Nice.
But you can also set it up with like gradient and stuff too. So like it'll have like a different color down here, then as it comes up, shift to another color.
Or
so
essentially like a dimmer color up to a higher color. I like that.
And you can, I think you can also, I didn't remember because I didn't play with it very long. Because I didn't want to ruin it for myself either.
Right.
Adjust it to 2 different colors, and as you slide up, like I said, that gradient, the whole thing will change to that other color and stuff like that. So it's really cool on that part too. And the little PC panel logo here, you can change the RGB on that.
Okay.
As for just some more fit and finish, it's really good. I think I've seen maybe one CNC mark right here, where the machine came around. That's where it stopped probably. And the only other gripe I had about it is this little top plate. It's a polycarbonate plate. But right here, if you look real close, it's not completely flush. It's raised just a little bit right here.
Yeah, I see that.
It just kind of... And then right here on this side, which, like I said, not a big deal. I'm extremely nitpicking here.
Right, yeah.
But it's just kind of like when I was holding it, I felt that, and I was like, oh, that's a little weird.
But at the same
takes
time...
nothing away from it.
Right. At the same time, first run a product, too.
Right.
So...
Right. And there's no telling what that could be. That could be maybe just a little wire that's sitting on top of something that's kind of just not letting it go all the way down. It could be anything. But like I said, it takes nothing away. But I did play with it for a minute. And like how the volume things work, you can go in and you can assign, and you can do this either to the sliders or the knobs, 2 applications to that knob or slider. And ideally how you'd want to do that is you'd want to put 2 applications on that particular one that you're never going to use at the same time.
Right, yeah.
So that way when one's open, like say, let's try to think, like my Twitch application and my YouTube music application.
Okay, yeah.
I'm never going to be watching a Twitch video while I'm watching or while I'm listening to YouTube music or something, right? So I would put both of those on one thing.
Gotcha.
That way when one's open, that slider works for it, or that knob. And then if that one's closed and the other one's open, that same slider works for that one.
Gotcha, okay.
So if you just wanted every single thing to be some type of volume control, you've got 5, 6, 7, 8, you've got 9, 18 applications you control with volume.
Heck yeah. That's pretty cool.
If that's all you want to do with it. And there's other little things too. And like I said, these are buttons, play, pause, skip forward, skip back, close a window, switch focus. There was all kinds of different, options in there. Now, a couple things I've seen that I didn't dig into, because I just seen the setting and I didn't have everything on my computer set up to, test them both. There was a thing for OBS integration.
Okay, cool.
So you could have like scene switching or, your volume of your audio tracks and stuff like that on your sliders. Mute, switch. Oh, that was another one. Mute. You could tap this to switch audio sources like desktop speaker, headphone speakers.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I really love. And there was also an option there for voice meter integration.
Really?
Yes. So the audio program that we're using to record our audio and keep all the levels and everything as close as we can and, tweak our audio and stuff, we're using a program called Voice Meter Banana. It's a free, essentially think like a virtual soundboard.
Yeah.
is essentially what it is, and it's free. It's a shareware or donationware. You
Right.
can just
Yeah.
kind of, if you use it, you enjoy it, throw them a couple bones, to support the project. But it has that integration, so we could be able to control our gains on here as well, our channel gains. So I definitely want to test that out eventually.
Yeah,
Soon.
absolutely. Especially like when we start setting up, the in-depth like breakdowns that we do podcasts on. That's going to come in real handy for one of us, whoever's running it at the time. Like if we have multiple people, like say we got 3 or 4,
Right. So you
people
can
that
adjust,
we're talking to.
some volumes on the fly kind of
absolutely.
thing.
And
Or, if somebody's getting annoying, like you're going on a rant, just turn you down.
yeah. Or you could just push one of these buttons and mute me,
Right.
because
So, I
do that.
That's
I'm
a lot
loud.
of things. We were, a lot of the similar things that we were talking about with that Stream Deck.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, you can still do different stuff or other stuff with a Stream Deck, but if you don't need all that extra, if you're just wanting some volume control or some media controls or, just be able to swap simply between some other things and stuff like that, I feel like this is some much better, thing to go with.
Right, yeah. If you're
Personally.
if you're not dealing with a streaming YouTube or Twitch streaming or anything like that, and you just really don't need all that stuff. If you're more like an audiophile, right? Like you do a lot of audio work. You do like podcasts, stuff like that you don't really want to integrate everything on the one thing onto a Stream Deck. Then if you're streaming the podcast, then by all means Stream Deck for that. But then you can do just more in focus audio sort of stuff,
right?
With this.
And that's why even with a more streamer focus, I actually kind of like this one more because it just seems a little more simple to use. And like we were talking about with the OBS, because a lot of people use OBS.
Yeah,
almost
absolutely.
Everybody I know uses OBS. Like there's some people that use XSplit, but we won't talk about that. But with the OBS integration, you could have your stream audio, your like say if you were playing music in the background, you could have your music track on this one. If you had another program, like say you were watching a YouTube video, with your community or something, you could have that on another. Like you could have all them sliders.
Right, yeah.
Be able to adjust like, hey, I can't hear myself, turn me up. Hey, they can't hear my game audio. Let me turn my game audio up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey guys, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back to stream in just a minute, but until then,
mute it.
Boom. Enjoy the music.
Exactly. I just feel like this tool, it's just easier to use than the Stream Deck for that. Because if you're using the Stream Deck and you want all that granular audio control, you've got to have a whole nother piece of equipment on here.
Right, absolutely.
To do that. Something like this, or a Go XLR, or something like that.
Yeah. So, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And like I said, this is one cable.
Right.
To hit that, set that up with. And, like I said, like the Go XLR, the Rode podcaster thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably get a lot more targeted functionality out of one piece. But if you got a USB mic and you got this plugged in, you got 2 USB ports plugged up, you're running your Voicemeeter Banana and your OBS, this is all relatively cheap setting up.
Right.
It's like a Go XLR or that Rode Podcaster, those are $400 and $500 a piece.
Yeah, that's true.
On top of the microphone, on top of the Stream Deck.
It's quite a bit of equipment that you have to...
It starts adding up a lot quicker
than you
think. And, like you said, your, arm and mic and stuff, you got about, $100 or so there, $150?
So I got the whole shebang, boom arm
so
and everything.
$150, $100. And then, like I said, your OBS is free.
Right.
Your Voicemeeter Banana, is free.
Yeah.
$250.
You're good to go. You're in streaming for about $250 instead of almost $1,000.
If you got your phone, your cameras, there's your
there
camera.
You got your secondary camera to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could even use it as your primary camera. We're using it as a primary camera.
Well, yeah.
And I found like with the iPhone 12, we've switched over to an iPhone 12 from my Pixel 5 just because I switched phones. I found a way to plug that in and capture that video straight to OBS.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're gonna have to mess around with that.
Yeah, I'm waiting on a cable to come in, so I have one long enough to go over here.
Awesome, beautiful.
So, it's just like these little things I keep finding. Like, I think that cost me to do that. You have to buy an app on the store to do that.
Yeah.
Which was like $18. But I mean,
Yeah.
$18.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a $500 DSLR. You don't have to have, a $100 webcam. Yeah, granted, you could say, oh, well, that iPhone cost $800. Well, you were going to have that anyway.
Right, absolutely.
You're going to have your phone.
With a DSLR camera, unless you are specifically targeting, a business style where you're doing photographs, you're doing professional videos, to do for YouTube channels, etc., etc. If you wanted to start out, that's a huge investment.
Right.
Versus, man, I just got an iPhone 12 last week.
But you can
this
use that,
amazing.
get yourself to that point where you can buy that DSLR. Absolutely.
Which is what we're doing.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. I thought this was a really great piece of, tech. I'm glad I ordered it. I can't wait to start using it more. I'm excited to use it, because I like how this looks better than a Stream Deck.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It gives you that, that hardware control. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not just a little button with an LCD on it. Which don't get me wrong, the Stream Deck's still cool as crap. But I like the simplicity. I like the look. I like the feel of the actual sliders.
And you can 100% vouch for this, and I can vouch for this a little bit in the fact that I've dealt with editing video and audio, previously in high school, and now you're doing a lot for this. This is so much better than what that is. Like with the Stream Deck, you might have to push a button twice to get it to the level that you want, whereas you can just dial this in so fine. Just fine tune it to exactly what you need. So I like that. The quality is amazing. Like when I pulled that out and felt that in my hands, I was like, holy crap, this is...
Oh, yeah.
The manufacturing and quality on this is amazing. And then the fact that, it does that what you want. It's fine tuning, right? So it can do almost like a lot of the stuff that the Stream Deck can do. But when you start getting into audio and so many other things, you can just fine tune that so well.
Right. And they also make another product that's a bit of a step down. This is the Pro, the PC Panel Pro.
Okay, gotcha.
They've got another one. It's just a little aluminum box with 4 knobs, and the knobs are buttons as well.
Gotcha.
And it's a little cheaper. I don't remember the price off of the top of my head, but you still get the same functionality, volumes, buttons, and stuff like that.
Right.
Just in a more kind of compact,
you essentially go from
package.
18 functions to 16 functions.
8, because you'd only have 4 knobs.
Oh, sorry. I thought. All right, never mind. Yeah, you're right.
So
my math sucks.
Yeah, but here nor there. I think it's going to be a cool product. I can't wait to actually. This has been sitting in my house for a week because if you didn't notice, we weren't here last week, unfortunately.
Right, unfortunately.
And I think we're not going to be here next week, unfortunately.
No, yeah. I'm messing that one up.
Yeah. So, but like I said, we're starting out. We don't have a full audience anyway, so I think y'all can live for a week.
Someday.
But
y'all can help us with that too, guys. Let us know the stuff y'all want to see. Hit that like and subscribe button, all that good stuff.
Yeah, make sure you hit the little notification bell so when we, get our videos posted up, you can watch it.
Absolutely.
And share it around for us.
So that's a pretty cool piece of tech, man. I'm not gonna lie, you've got me wanting to go out and spend $100 on that right now.
Right. Like I said, you might as well just go ahead and wait. Because you can't get one right now anyway.
Right, absolutely.
It's going to be months before they even ship them.
Yeah, and there's so much of that stuff right now. That's the whole deal. Everything that we're dealing with right now, if you're talking about ammo manufacturing, if you're talking about, electronic and technology manufacturing, if you're talking about, graphics card manufacturing, all that stuff is in hold up right now because everybody's trying to get back up and running and get caught back up. So,
yeah. But that's our show today, I guess.
Heck yeah. So it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
I'm going to have to get one of these soon.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll catch you in a couple weeks.
Peace.
Later.